Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this, the 35th Ashtapadi from Asa Mahalla Tija, composition of the third Nanak, Guru Amar Das, 8 stanzas verses. The recitation. Asa Mahalla Tija. Satgur te gun upajai, ja prab mele soe. Sehje naam te aiye, gyan pragat hoye. E man mat jaane har dur hai, sada vekh hadur. Sad sunda, sad vekhda, sabd rehya bharpur. Rahao ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਆਪ ਪਛਾਣਿਆ, ਤਿਨੀ ਇੱਕ ਮਨ ਧਿਆਇਆ, ਸਦਾ ਰਵੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣਾ, ਸੱਚੇ ਨਾਮ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਇਆ। ਏ ਮਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਕੋ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕਰ ਵੇਖ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿਚਾਰ। ਹਰ ਸਰਣਾਈ ਭਜ ਪਾਓ, ਪਈਐ ਪਾਈਐ ਮੁਖ ਦੁਆਰ। ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣੀਐ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਬੁਝੀਐ, ਸਚ ਰਹੇ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਏ। ਸਭ ਦੇ ਹਉ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਰੀਐ, ਸੱਚੇ ਮਹਿਲ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਏ। ਇਸ ਜਗ ਮਹਿ ਸੋਭਾ ਨਾਮ ਕੀ, ਬਿਨ ਨਾਮੈ ਸੋਭ ਨ ਹੋਏ। ਇਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਕੀ ਸੋਭਾ ਚਾਰ ਦਿਹਾੜੇ, ਜਾਦੀ ਬਿਲਮ ਨ ਹੋਏ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਵਿਸਾਰਿਆ, ਸੇ ਬੂਏ ਮਰ ਜਾਹੇ। ਹਰ ਰਸ ਸਾਧ ਨ ਆਇਓ, ਬਿਸਟਾ ਮਾਹੇ ਸਮਾਹੇ। ਇੱਕ ਆਪੇ ਬਖਸ਼ ਮਿਲਾਇਨ, ਅਨਦਿਨ ਨਾਮੇ ਲਾਏ। ਸੱਚ ਕਮਾਵੈ ਸੱਚ ਰਹੈ, ਸੱਚੇ ਸੱਚ ਸਮਾਏ। ਬਿਨ ਸ਼ਬਦੈ ਸੁਣੀਏ ਨਾ ਦੇਖੀਐ, ਜਗ ਬੋਲਾ ਅੰਨਾ ਪਰਮਾਏ। ਬਿਨ ਨਾਮੈ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਇਸੀ, ਨਾਮ ਮਿਲੈ ਤਸੇ ਰਜਾਏ। ਜਿਨ ਬਾਣੀ ਸਿਉ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਇਆ, ਸੇ ਜਨ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ। ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਤਿਨਾ ਕਦੇ ਨ ਵਿਸਰੈ, ਸੇ ਦਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਜਾਣ। On the role of the Satgur. So Guru Amar Das says, Satgur te gun upajai. From the Satgur arises virtue. Satgur te gun upajai. Upajai, to flower. And union with the perfect wisdom that Gurbani calls the Prab happens when virtue arises first. Ja Prab mele soe. So when the mind fixes its attention on Naam, Naam Tyaya, spiritual wisdom manifests naturally. Gyan Pargat hoye. Sehje naam tyaiye, gyan pargat hoye. Tyaiye is to bring the mind to attention, to immobilize the mind on an object, so to speak, to meditate. So virtue is the foundation for self-realization or self-knowledge, Naam. And Dhyana is deep contemplation on the teachings of the Guru. Dhyana is the tool that is used. And then he advises the mind. My mind, he says, do not perceive the har self to be afar. Mat jana har dur hai. Behold the self to be ever present. Sada vekh hadur. The self hears, the self sees everything at all times. Sad sunada, sad vekhda. And the self pervades the universe through its word, sabad. Sabad rehya bharpur. That's the central message. Is to experience, is to presence the self inside and outside. And the presencing is done through its wisdom. Gurmukh aap pachhaniya, tine ik man tyaya. So, the Gur guided, Gurmukh, recognizes the self. Aap pachhaniya. The self is recognized through the Gur. So you have to be a Gurmukh. Tini ik man te aaya. So you have to meditate with one pointed attention on the teachings of the Gur. And then the Gurmukh finds fulfillment, sache naam sukha paya, and forever delights in the presence of the eternal spouse, the self. Sada rave pir apna. And then again to the mind, e man tera ko nahi, kar vekh sabad vichar. My mind, tera ko nahi, nobody's yours. What it means is don't turn to other methods. There really is no other way but seeking the wisdom of the word. Kar vekh sabad vichar. So seek the sanctuary of the whole self through the sabad. Sabad suniye, sabad bujiye, sach rahe livlaye, sabad haume mariye, sache mel sukh paaye. This is the process. Sabad suniye, attentively listen to the word, which is Gurbani. Sabad bujiye, develop discernment from that reading and listening. And then sach rahe livlaye, orient yourself, attune yourself to the self. And so sabade haume mariye. So sabad, the message of the Guru, enables us to conquer the haume. Sabde haume mariye, and find fulfillment in the domain of the self. Sache mahal sukh paaye. Is jag mein soba naam ki bin naame सोब ना होए एह माया की सोबा चार दिहाड़े जादी बिलम ना जाए. Contrasting, the Guru says it is Naam that confers splendor and beauty to the world. Without the force of Naam, there would be no glory. There would be no world. Bin Naam sob na hoए. The attraction of Maya, of material world, in comparison, a Maya ki soba char dehade, 4 days, short-lived. Jandi bilam na hoye, and it loses no time in disappearing. So understand what you're dealing with. Jinni naam visarya se muye mar jaye, har sadhana ayo bishta mai samay. They who forget Naam are spiritually dead. Se muye, because they are drowned in the swamp of worldly entanglement. Bishta Mahisamai. Regrettably, they will not savor the taste of the Har Self. Har Sadhana Ayo. Ik ape baks milayan anden name laye sach kamave sach rahe sach samai. So this is benevolence. This is grace that causes some to find union with the self and live in self-realization, practicing the truth, remaining in truth. That is grace. Bin sabad suniye na dekhiye jag bola anna paramaye. Bin sabad. So we are not paying attention without realizing the word, the sabad. The world remains spiritually mute and blind, deluded by doubt. Sunaya na dekhiye jag bola anna paramaye. And without the virtue of self-realization, bin name, there is sorrow. But self-realization comes ordained by the self. Naam miliye tise rajaye. Jin bani syo chit laya se jan nirmal parwan, nanak naam tina kade na visara se dar sache jaan. They who focus their mind on the teachings of the Gur, Jin bani syo chit laya, have sacrificed their ego and are accepted. Sejan Nirmal Parvan. Says Nanak, they live in constant awareness of the self. Nanak and Naam tina kade na visare. And they know the door to the self. So here, the importance of the Satgur. And in Sikh tradition, we have to remember that generically speaking, the Satgur is any source of enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment. It could be a person, an institution, so on and so forth. But what is being emphasized here is that the source of our guidance, the source of our knowledge, must be authentic. The Gur must be Sat, must be true. Sat also means perpetual. So here there is a pointer that this Satgur is primal, is God itself. So in the Sikh tradition today, the Satgur points to the Guru Granth, which is in textual form. The key to understand is that within the Sikh tradition, spiritual transformation is not dependent on another human being. Now, this is not to suggest that another human being cannot mentor or that a group, a congregation cannot help you evolve. Yes, it can, but ultimately the transformation is an individual process by finding the Satgur that is within. The pulsation of wisdom that is innate to you is what you have to catch. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.